Okay, so what I'm working on today, I've got some potatoes that are starting to grow eyes, so they need to be done something with. I'm going to scrub them up, clean them up, cut them up, and can them. Never understood why it's called canning, because you're putting them in jars. Wouldn't it be better to be called jarring? Whatever, anyway. I've got a pot of water here, just plain water, so that I can blanch them once I've got them all cut. Got a pot there for the lids and rings, which I will pour hot boiling water over it once my kettle comes up to boil. I probably should move the fishy so that he doesn't deal with all that steam. These are all that's left of the 2 3-pound bags of apples I bought yesterday. We eat apples like crazy, and it's just me and Sky, but they're not very big apples, so we tend to eat a couple of them at a time, but yeah, I just thought that was funny. So I've got that water coming up to a boil. I scrubbed the carpet earlier, so that baby's draining, but I've got that water coming up to a boil. I've got my canner coming up to temperature over here. I haven't put vinegar in yet. I will do that right before, because I'll use it to wipe the rims. I feel like I'm bouncing all over the place. I'll use it to wipe the rims of the jars before I put the lids on them, so I will dump whatever's left over from my little thing I need to get of... And I just like how clean it looks. What's really funny is I've got my tablet there. I was watching YouTube, of course, and I was watching Elle Lindquist, I think that's how you say her name, one of her videos on organizing her closet, front and back closet, and she was talking about how she loved labels, and Sky was in here, and she was like, Mom, she should be friends with you because you like labels too. I do, seriously, I love labels. But that's what I'm working on right now. I'm going to, once I've got these blanched, I will fill the jars up as best I can and then pour more hot water, boiling water over the potatoes to give me a 1-inch headspace. And then I'll process the big jars. I'll process all of them for the same amount of time. I have 2 on standby just in case, 2 littler ones, because I don't have any more. Well, I guess I could get a couple more of the big jars and just use the lids for those if I really need it. I don't know how many jars I'm going to get. I really doubt I'll need the 2 smaller ones, but I figured better safe than sorry and have the extra lids ready and going. So I'm going to get working on this, and I'm going to watch YouTube while I do it. Which a lot of times why I don't video myself canning, because it's really hard to record yourself and watch something at the same time. It just, I'm good, you know, don't get me wrong, I can multitask like you won't believe, but I'm not that good. So that's what I'm working on. 7:30 at night on a Saturday. Yes, I have no life. Sky is in the entryway building herself a fort, and I'm in the kitchen canning some potatoes. That's just how we roll here. So I'm going to get to scrubbing and cutting off the eyes and chopping those up and giving them a good wash. And I'll be back when I get to the next step. Got all my potatoes cut up and washed. My water is almost up to a boil, and I'll blanch them for 2 minutes and then take them out and put them in the jars. And this is coming up to temp 2, since I'll be pouring hot water, boiling water into the jars over the potatoes. I don't want to put them into a cold canner. That would equal disaster and broken jars and glass and nightmare. So we won't do that. I did go ahead and pour boiling water over my lids and rings, and I just put the lid on to keep the heat in. And like I said, this is just about up to boil. It's just starting to come up. So once it is up to a full boil, then I will add the potatoes and blanch them for 2 minutes. So I'll bring you back when I've got more going on. I'm going to go turn my YouTube back on. I'll be back. Timer just went off. Because I only need to blanch these for 2 minutes, I wasn't really concerned about it coming up to a full rolling boil. They're going to be processed for 40 freaking minutes after this. So this is really just to give them a little bit of a head start. So I'm going to go ahead and put those into the strainer and start to fill my jars. And I didn't mention this, but in the bottom of each of these big jars is a teaspoon of canning salt. And then I have a half a teaspoon in those 2 littler jars over there. Yeah, I'm watching YouTube. So that's what I've got going on here. I don't have any other potatoes to do, so I'm going to go ahead and just dump the water out because I don't need to do any other things. This is all I'm getting done tonight. So I'm going to get this dumped and start loading in my jars. I'll be back. Not quite 4 full jars. It'll be enough once I put the water in it. I could have packed that one and this one probably a little bit tighter, but it seemed silly because that would just leave me that much less in the 4th jar. So I'm going to pour the hot water over them, wipe the rims and put the lids and rings on and get them going in the canner. So I'll bring you back. So I've got all of my jars in here. I'm going to add in my vinegar. I'm going to put the lid on and get this baby going. Once it comes up to pressure, I'll vent it for 10 minutes. And then once the weight starts jiggling away, I will time it for 40 minutes. So I'll bring you back when I take the jars out. It's really nothing to see but steam coming out in the meantime. So I'll bring you back when I take the jars out. It's really not that interesting to watch steam come out of the pot. It's been venting now for a couple minutes. My timer is going and I'm watching Tati. So it's hard to see. You kind of like have to look at it sideways to see the steam coming out. Yeah, I don't even think it's picking it up on camera, but it's coming, I promise. All right, 6 more minutes. I gotta wait 6 more minutes before I can put the weight on. Oi, I'm gonna finish watching Tati. I'm still watching YouTube, but I got 10 seconds left on my timer. And it's going to be very complicated what happens next. So I figured I would show it to you. Okay, so I'm going to hit cancel on my timer. That timer is for what's in the oven, which is why it's so loud in here, because I need to clean out the oven. And it stinks right now. So, crap that's on the bottom of the oven is burning off and it reeks to high heaven. Now this is going to be the complicated part. Make sure you watch closely. That's it. Yeah, I was being sarcastic just a little bit. I just turned the heat off on the burner because it's an electric oven, stove, whatever you want to call it. It will stay warm for a little while, but I'm just going to turn the heat off and I'm going to let this come down off of pressure naturally. And I'll know because that jiggly thingy bobby will no longer be jiggling. And this little metal piece up there at the top will go back down. So, yeah, that could take 10 minutes, that could take an hour. You never know. So I'm just going to let it be, and I'll bring you back when I take them out. Sorry, having a little bit of fun torturing my child. But it's been quite a while. She's pissy, which is normal. My weight is no longer jiggling, and the thingamabobber went down. I told her I was going to make her go without her phone for the next 2 days. Stop.
No.
I'm recording.
I don't care.
Stop whining, please.
No.
Told her I was going to make her go the next 2 days without a phone, and it would just randomly shut off at some given time, and she's never going to know when. So, yeah, that's mom torture for you.
No.
If you keep whining at me, I'm going to. I am having issues with meltdowns tonight, because she's just, yeah. But anyway. Trying to. Yeah, it's always my fault, guys, because I'm the one who mouths off to her mother for her instead of her doing it or doesn't clean after herself like she's supposed to. But it's my fault. Anyway, the trials and tribulations of parenthood. It's been at least a couple of hours, and you can see that the babies are still bubbling away. So I'm going to put these out here and let them sit overnight. Careful not to tip these in any way. Alright, so I'm just going to let these guys sit till tomorrow. And they have cooled down completely at that point. And then I will put them in the pottery. Kind of excited. I know. I'm weird. See you guys next time.